Good morning.
Good morning. Good
How are
morning.
you, Mr. Brown?
I'm doing good. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So I read your bio and I'm just thoroughly impressed. I'm like, okay,
Thank
all
you. Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
So just if you could just provide us, I know I spoke a lot about your educational background, but what did I miss? And then tell us, like how did you have this passion for writing?
I always loved writing since I was in high school. My favorite teacher in high school was Miss Rivers, and she's my English teacher. So I always had a passion for writing ever since I was little. But I really wanted to be a hip hop producer when I was in high school. But I had to go to college, so I had to figure out a way how I can still be a hip hop producer plus be a writer. So I said I'm gonna go to school, major in journalism and communications, get some internships. So I had 4 internships throughout my whole college while I was in college. And when I had an intern for a magazine, different writing, but it was all based in music and entertainment. So when I graduated, I was like, I'm going to go to New York and write for Double XL magazine, The Source. But they never called me back. So Ozone magazine was an up and coming magazine in Atlanta, and it got pretty big. They had the awards on MTV2 back when they had MTV2. And they hired me, and I went there, and I said, when I write the articles and I interview the artists, I'll be able to give them my beats, and then I'll blow up and be a big producer. But it didn't really happen that way. I grew more spiritual and more religious, and I always had the idea to write a book in college. So I wrote the book, and the book took me farther than I could ever imagine. So I had the idea, wrote it down, and it happened.
So tell us a little bit about about this book, A Lesson Learned, because I know I've heard of the book,
Yeah.
and I've seen, I attended Bowie State for grad school, but people kept talking about a lesson learned. What is that? What is the book about?
So I had the idea to interview 16 of my friends who all had a trial or tribulation while they were in college. So I'm telling their stories, but then after every story, it's a lesson learned, and they're saying how they got through it and what advice they would give to somebody else going through the same thing. So it's different topics: grief, racism, drugs, STDs, student loans, sports, everything you could think that can happen in life, but it happened in college, and they still graduated and made it through. So it's all based on true stories, and about 80% of the stories happen right in the DMV area, in DC and Bowie. That's where I'm from. I live in Atlanta now, but I'm from Landover, Maryland. So all the stories happen right there, and I'm self-published. Did everything myself. It's been nothing but God guide me on this journey. So that's what happened. I had the idea to put it in the schools. I went to each school myself and pitched the ideas or called the schools and sent them a book. I made a curriculum for the book with
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
homework assignments, writing assignments, classwork assignments, project ideas, and everything. So once I pitched that plus the curriculum, for some schools it was a no-brainer because they read the books. You're not only learning, but you're also entertained. Because I understand that now people have a short attention span, so I had to write something that will get their attention, but they also learn from it also.
Oh, we're gonna have to get purchase the books for our incoming ninth graders for this summer, with the curriculum.
Yeah,
so I definitely am gonna follow up with you about that.
I'll send you the curriculum. You can look over it.
Okay. And then, so what words of advice can you offer our scholars who may be looking to grow into their own talents, who's looking to be that author, that writer?
I know when I was in high school, I kind of didn't know what path exactly. I knew I loved music, but I didn't know the exact path I wanted to go. So for the students who might not know where they want to go and want to grow in their talents, I would say find something you're passionate about, and find something that you do better than everybody else, something that comes easy to you, something that you love to do, and it brings you joy and fulfillment. And don't just look at the money when you're going after it. Look at it like you're serving and you're giving back. Like, this is why God put you on this earth. So if you, I know some students, when I was in high school, I was kind of a jokester. I talked a lot. So maybe you're meant to be on the stage or be doing morning announcements or be a weather reporter. So maybe you belong on the stage. You like to talk so much. And here I am talking now. So I got in trouble a lot for talking, but here I am. So I use that as my gift. I like to talk. So now I talk for a living, kind of. If you love cooking, maybe be a chef. You love playing video games, be a video game developer, and take that and make it, your own, and hone that craft and really focus. And Malcolm Gladwell said he has a 10,000 hour rule. He wrote a book called The Outliers, and he said you put in 10,000 hours, you will master your craft. So you got to focus and keep learning and repetition. I always say repetition is the father of learning. You got to keep going. You may see LeBron James doing real great, or see somebody playing an instrument that's really good, but you don't see the hours they put into owning their craft. So, and I know some parents may tell students to go this way. They may want them to be a doctor or a nurse, but you gotta let them go and do what God put them on this earth to do. Your dreams are not their dreams. So you gotta let them go and flourish and see what they love to do and help them get into their craft and go further. Because they may be put here to do something totally different. You know, a lot of parents like to put them in sports and put them in this, but you got to see what they like to do. What do they love to do?
I love it. I love it. I absolutely